trick into making a good fight scene is to stack your punches. You see, you always want either your fist in between the camera or the person, or the person in between the fist and the camera. If we were to get it like right here, it doesn't really work that well, does it? No. If I was to turn like this, then that works pretty well.
So for the second tip, it's kind of a joint ownership between selling your hits and camera movement. Now this one is going to be a crappy hit with no camera movement. I'm not going to sell it very well. You ready? Okay, here's with the right selling of hits and no camera movement. And here it is with camera movement to add a real big punch to it. See, fight scenes, you know, they do have a lot of stuff in camera that you have to worry about, but there's also stuff in editing that can improve your film, as in, you know, sound effects. It's always about the sound effects. If you have crappy sound effects, it looks like this. But you get good sound effects, and it sounds like this. And if you want to, back up my friend, you can always cut out a frame in contact with him to make it even more powerful.
You see, everything we just told you is pointless if you have terrible choreography. We put together a little short film showing you our choreography. Up above, click the link, click the link, click the link. Still have not clicked the link. Okay, you just click the link. Now, each fight scene has to have its own, you know, personality. You know, do you want like ninja fight scene, or do you want, you know, big and powerful, you know, fight scenes like that? It's just what you want to do, really. And also, you gotta go for it, right? You gotta do stunts. You just gotta do what you do. You know, I mean, that's how we do it. All right. Another thing about fight scenes, if there's missing sounds, like you're not getting into it and you're not making grunts when you're going at it, it's not gonna sound or look right. So you just gotta go for it. Make some noises. Get into it. Get pumped. Make the noises, because if they're not there, your audience is gonna know that something's up, and that's just not great. So you see, fighting, it's kind of like dancing. You and your partner, you know, you want to get into a rhythm. You know, just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, stuff like that. Choose music when you're editing to go along with it. Just, you know, make it flow. With correct choreography and, you know, if you just make it flow, your fight scene will look good. You don't just want repetitive punches and repetitive body shots every single time. You got to mix it up every now and then, you know, throwing a kick. So if you follow all these steps, you know, it should look a little something like this. But you know, we're still trying to get better too. You know, we're trying to get like these guys.
Just in case you missed anything or didn't understand in full what we were talking about earlier, we're going to go over and kind of retouch everything in more detail. Okay, so the first thing and probably the most important thing is to always stack your punches. Now, you always make sure that it connects with the target from the view of the camera. You don't even have to be that close to the person with your fist or whatever you're hitting them with. You can be a good distance away to ensure safety.
Alright, so the second thing you got to remember is to sell your hits. It does not matter if it looks dumb when you're doing it, because in camera it will most likely look good unless you're really dumb. You just gotta jaw your head back if you're getting punched in the face really hard. You just gotta go for it, do what feels natural.
Okay, so the third thing is camera movement. Adding subtle jars to the camera's movement in coordination with the hits always sells the hit a lot better. Now, you don't want to do it too hard though, because it can jar the audience and kind of draw them away from the fight and distract them.
Alright, so number 4 is sound. Just remember that terrible sound can make a great fight scene awful, but amazing sound can make a terrible fight scene good. So use your sound accordingly.
Okay, so number 5 is frame cutouts. Cutting out frames and speeding up certain parts of the footage can make your fight look a lot more brutal and a lot more savage.
Alright, so number 6 is pacing. Make sure your fighters get into a good pace when they fight. Like I said, it's a dance.
Number 7, don't be repetitive. Come up with new ways and new things to throw your actors into and, you know, be creative.
Okay, so number 8 is choreography. From personal experience, we can tell you that going into a film day with no choreography is the worst thing in the world. Because you spend about 2 hours of your film time trying to figure out the choreography you're going to do, and then next thing you know, it's dark and you have no film.
So make sure beforehand, the day before you actually plan on filming, to go over the choreography with your fighters. Make sure they have it down before you actually turn that camera on, because it will make the process a lot smoother. It'll be second nature to them when it actually comes to the fight scene.
For number 9, it's the last one, and that we didn't mention earlier, but we are now. It's the different levels of hits. You've got 3 different levels of hits. They are the stunner hits, your medium hits, and your destructive hits. The stunner hits are pretty easy to sell. They're pretty weak. They're usually just a jab or a hook, and you just move your head or your body slightly to sell the hit. And then you've got your medium hits. That usually calls for more, not only your head, but also your shoulder movement, and kind of move your body with it. It makes it seem a little bit stronger. And then your destructive hits. Destructive hits usually end up with the guy on the ground or stumbling back really far. So just remember to keep all those 3, and it kind of helps with choreography as well to mix it up, you know, if you want a stunner or a medium or a really big hit. So it always helps to keep those in mind. Keep in your filmmaking pocketbook. What was that?
So now that we've explained how we do fights, we encourage you guys to try out some of the tips we do if you like them, and send us a link when you're done. We would love to see what you guys do, but you probably won't do it better than us.
Because you're terrible. No one's better than us. Corridor Digital's better than us, and Raka's better than us.
Yeah, but
Nobody.
True, you know who True
Monster? Get out of here. Watch Pathogen.
Watch Pathogen.
Right here.
And episode 2 is coming soon.
Episode 2 is
depending on your definition of soon.
Poco de Poco.
New videos every
2 months,
3 months.
years.
Whenever
decades.
people decide to show up for filming and be zombies, actually.
We're looking at you. You know who we're looking at. Everyone, aka everyone. Except for Eric and Josiah.
And thank you, David.
Thank you, David.